Hungarian. Hungarian, or Magyar, is the most widely spoken Finno-Ugric language, with around 13 million speakers mainly in Hungary and across Central Europe. It stands out as an island of the Uralic family surrounded by Slavic, Germanic, and Romance languages, a testament to the ancient migrations of the Magyars from the Ural Mountains into the Carpathian Basin over 1,000 years ago. The language became a cornerstone of Hungarian nationalism during the 19th century Reform era, when writers and scholars standardized it and expanded its vocabulary to rival Western European tongues. Today it is known for its rich literary tradition, from folk poetry to modern authors like Imre Kertész, and for its role in shaping a distinct cultural identity. Hungarian connects modern Europe to its distant Eurasian past, preserving a linguistic bridge across continents. Finnish, or Suomi, is spoken by about 5.5 million people, primarily in Finland and parts of Sweden, making it one of the most prominent Finno-Ugric languages. It belongs to the Finnic branch of the Uralic family and has developed in relative isolation on the northern fringes of Europe, absorbing influences from Swedish, Russian, and even German. Finland's long struggle for cultural independence was deeply tied to its language, especially during the 19th century, when intellectuals like Elias Lönnrot compiled the Kalevala, a national epic that unified Finnish identity and inspired later independence movements. Today, Finnish is central to the country's education system, literature, and modern design culture. The language has also helped shape Finland's democratic and egalitarian ethos, symbolizing the idea that every citizen, regardless of status, can master the same words that built the nation's poetry, science, and politics. Estonian, or Eesti, is the national language of Estonia and is spoken by about 1.1 million people. It is related to Finnish and belongs to the Finnic branch of the Finno-Ugric family. For centuries, the people who spoke it lived under German, Swedish, and Russian rule, and the language absorbed elements from each without losing its core identity. In the 19th century, writers and thinkers began using Estonian in books, newspapers, and songs to unite the population around a shared language. During the Soviet era, speaking and publishing in Estonian became a way to preserve national identity. This spirit continued into the late 1980s, when the singing revolution helped restore independence. Today, Estonian is used in schools, universities, and government, and it has found a place in digital culture, connecting modern life with long-standing traditions of self-expression. Komi-Zyrian? Komi-Zyrian is spoken by about 150,000 people in the Komi Republic of northern Russia. It belongs to the Permic branch of the Finno-Ugric family and is related to Udmurt. The Komi people were among the first Uralic speakers to use a written language, creating the Old Permic alphabet in the 14th century under Saint Stephen of Perm. This early writing system allowed religious and administrative texts to appear in Komi long before most other Uralic languages were written down. Over time, the language shifted to the Cyrillic script, which remains in use today. Komi-Zyrian is used in education and local publications, though Russian is dominant in most public life. The language continues to serve as a marker of shared heritage and local identity for the Komi people, connecting their present communities with their early literary and religious traditions. Udmurt. Udmurt is spoken by around 340,000 people in the Udmurt Republic and surrounding parts of Russia. It is part of the Permic branch of the Finno-Ugric family and is related to Komi-Zyrian. The Udmurt people have lived for centuries in the Volga-Kama region, where their language developed alongside Russian, Tatar, and Mari. Written Udmurt first appeared in the 18th century using a modified Cyrillic script, which is still in use. During the Soviet period, Udmurt gained limited official status, and schools, local newspapers, and songs helped preserve it despite pressures from Russian. The language remains strongest in rural areas, where it is used in daily life, folklore, and oral storytelling. Modern cultural initiatives now include community classes, Udmurt language radio programs, and literature projects that record traditional knowledge. These efforts aim to maintain Udmurt as both a means of expression and a reflection of the region's long continuity. Mari. Mari is spoken by about 500,000 people, mainly in the Mariel Republic and neighboring regions along the Volga River in Russia. It belongs to the Volga-Finnic branch of the Finno-Ugric family and has two major dialects, Hill Mari and Meadow Mari, which are mutually intelligible but used in separate areas. Mari communities have maintained their language across centuries of contact with Russian and Turkic peoples. Mari appeared in the 18th century using a modified Cyrillic script and later became a medium for education and local literature. The language is still used in schools, rural administration, and folk traditions. Many Mari speakers practice a native religion that includes nature rituals and sacred groves, where the language plays a role in prayer and ceremony. These cultural practices and ongoing education efforts keep Mari as a living link between daily life and ancestral tradition. Erzya. Erzya is spoken by about 300,000 people, mainly in the Republic of Mordovia and surrounding regions of central Russia. It belongs to the Mordvinic group within the Finno-Ugric family and is closely related to Moksha, though the two are not mutually intelligible. Erzya has been used in the Volga region for centuries and preserves many native terms for local landscapes and traditions. The first written materials appeared in the 18th century, and the modern literary form developed in the early 20th century using Cyrillic script. Erzya is taught in some schools and used in local radio, newspapers, and cultural events, especially in rural areas. There is an active movement promoting the language through literature and online communities. These efforts focus on strengthening Erzya as a marker of identity and as a living record of the region's linguistic and historical continuity. Karelian. Karelian is spoken by about 30,000 people across the Republic of Karelia in Russia and parts of eastern Finland. It belongs to the Finnic branch of the Finno-Ugric family and is the closest relative of Finnish, sharing many words and grammatical features while maintaining its own sound patterns and vocabulary. Historically, Karelian was used in the borderlands between Slavic and Finnic peoples, where it played a role in shaping early Finnish culture. Kalevala, Finland's national epic, drew much of its source material from Karelian oral poetry and song traditions. Written Karelian appeared in the 19th century, first using Latin and later Cyrillic script. Today, it is taught in schools, published in local media, and promoted through cultural programs in both Russia and Finland. These efforts aim to preserve Karelian as a link between the shared heritage of the Finnish and Karelian peoples. Moksha. Moksha is spoken by about 200,000 people, mainly in the Republic of Mordovia and nearby areas of central Russia. It belongs to the Mordvinic group of the Finno-Ugric family and is closely related to Erzya, though speakers of the two languages usually cannot understand one another. Moksha developed through long contact with Russian and Turkic peoples, but kept much of its native vocabulary and sound system. Written Moksha first appeared in the 18th century and later adopted a modern literary form based on the Cyrillic alphabet. The language is taught in some schools and used in local broadcasting, but it is most widely spoken in rural communities. Moksha continues to appear in folk songs, oral storytelling, and poetry that describe daily life and the natural environment. These traditions sustain the language as both a means of expression and a record of regional memory. Khanty. Khanty is spoken by around 20,000 people across the Khanty-Mansi Autonomous Okrug and nearby areas of western Siberia in Russia. It belongs to the Ugric branch of the Finno-Ugric family and is a distant relative of Hungarian and Mansi. The Khanty people traditionally lived along the Ob River, relying on fishing, hunting, and reindeer herding, and their language developed through close ties to this environment. Khanty has many dialects, some so distinct that speakers of different groups may not understand each other easily. Written Khanty was first recorded in the 19th century, and a Cyrillic-based orthography is used today in education and regional publications. While Russian dominates most public life, Khanty remains central to oral traditions, folklore, and songs that describe the northern landscape and seasonal life. Cultural and linguistic projects continue to document the language and encourage its use among younger generations.